Welcome back. For those that you don't know me, my name's Amy. Welcome to Craveg. And for those that you do know me, welcome back too. And thank you for your support for my little vlogging project here. I appreciate how much support I've gotten. And I especially wanted to give a shout out to the Shalom Women's Circle members, Arlene and Betsy and everyone else who's in the group. Mary passed along that you were excited about the project, so that makes me very happy. And I wanted today to share with everyone a little bit of my thought process when I am creating my Misfits Box shopping list, as well as some of the thought process for when I'm doing my menu planning, especially for how do we deal with when we have made a very careful list of the things that we want to get from our Misfits box. And then when we get our Misfits box, we realize that there were substitutions for some ingredients that we were really hoping to get. And so what I will share with you today is the ways in which actually a few minor substitutions by Misfits dramatically changed my ideas for what I was going to do in my menu today. So initially I thought that perhaps I would end up doing a Mexican menu, but as you will see in my little explanation with my grocery list, that I decided to change into actually to do a Greek menu, specifically a green Lenten menu that tends to be more about vegetarian and vegan cooking. I do want to apologize a little bit that this vlog is less of a vlog and more kind of a lecture because this is new to me. All the technology is new to me, not all of it, but some of the technology is new to me, so I'm figuring out as we go along. And so first I'm going to show you a graphic of my grocery list and explain a little bit about how I think about what I'm going to do. And then I will share some of the menu that I decided to create. So let's get started. So whenever we start to do menu planning, of course, this is even before we had Misfits and we just had our regular grocery list. We look at the ingredients that we have available and we think about how they work together. So when I customized my box, which I started to do a couple deliveries in, and now I regularly customize my box, I make a point to choose vegetables that are in two categories. One category is the vegetables that I think of as sort of the major vegetables, or the vegetables that would be cooked, that would feature in an entree. And then there are the vegetables that are the secondary vegetables, or the vegetables that maybe are used for seasoning, or maybe something that are used to complement a dish. So for instance, in classic cooking, there's that mirepoix of celery, onion, carrot, or in Creole cooking, there's the combination of pepper, celery, and onion. And so, if I don't have those around in my pantry, then I might make sure to add those into my basket. So when I looked at the customized ingredients that were available, I was thinking initially maybe something that would be Mexican. So I knew that I had some onion from my previous box, and I noticed that they said that they had zucchini available this time, as well as peppers, which I hadn't seen in a while. So I thought that I would add some peppers and some cilantro and some lemon to my box to give me that kind of basis for doing something that would be Mexican. However, when my box arrived, what I discovered, and we know that this is something that happens regularly if you've had a Misfits box for any period of time, is that what you customized may not be something that you actually get. So when I received my box, I did receive the apples, cilantro, kiwi, lemons, onion, russet potatoes, curly endive, peppers, butternut squash, green beans, and Savoy cabbage. The substitutions that Misfits made is they did not give me sweet potatoes. Instead, they gave me more russet potatoes. And they gave me tomatoes, but they didn't give me beefsteak tomatoes. They gave me vine-ripened tomatoes. And what was the third substitution? Oh, they didn't have zucchini. So they gave me English cucumbers instead of zucchini. So those substitutions then were pretty significant in terms of what sort of food I could make. I also had seen that last delivery's box also they had made the substitution of cucumbers for zucchini. And from the vegetarian perspective, unless you're going to be making raw vegetable salads, a zucchini functions very differently from a cucumber. So as I was looking at the ingredients now that I had available to me, I noticed that I had the curly endive. And endive is something that I knew would be a bitter green, but I thought I would look up some recipes for it. And I noticed that there were some Greek recipes for spring greens that could use endive. And so I was thinking, oh, well, actually, according to the Greek Orthodox calendar, we're still in Lent because they don't have Easter until May 2nd. So based on my previous gastronomic research, I noticed that Greeks have periods of fasting throughout their liturgical year, and that during Lent is a major period of time for fasting and for including many vegetarian and really actually vegan dishes in their diet. So I decided then, instead of doing something that would be a Mexican menu, to do something that would be more of a Greek menu and to take advantage of the Lenten dishes that are available during this time, because I have a particular interest in cooking from cuisines that have a tradition of being vegetarian instead of really just adapting American recipes for a vegetarian palate. So next I will then go through the menu items that I decided to make, or that I could really choose from in the next 2 weeks based on the ingredients that I have in my box. So here we can see the menu that I've come up with. And as you can see, I have included a variety of different types of dishes, including some sort of what we might consider to be appetizers or first courses, as well as entrees, as well as desserts. And even though that this would be something that could be used to create traditional sort of weekly menus, I tend to create a number of dishes and then just sort of pick and choose them throughout the week. Now I have a Misfits Madness box, which is for, I think, 3 to 5 people per week, but because I'm a vegetarian and because I have a heavily vegetable, fruit based diet, I use the produce that I get for every 2 weeks. And I pretty much use all of the produce that I get. I do make an effort to include some sturdier kind of vegetables, such as the butternut squash, so that if I can't use all of the vegetable that I have that week, or if I have some oranges or some apples that I don't use that week, they will last for another couple weeks and I don't have to worry about them. So one of the things that I'm hoping to get your feedback on is to get a sense of what kind of demonstrations you would like to see, what kind of cooking demonstrations you would like to see. So as you look through over my menu, we see that there are a number of Greek dishes. And one of the dishes that I do have some experience cooking is Ina Garten's Pastitsio recipe. I can highly recommend that. I also have a very good pita recipe, and I was very happy that recently I think I've discovered the trick to getting the pita to puff. So I'd be happy to share that with you. So please do let me know which dishes that you might like to try, and which ones seem the most appealing to you. You'll also see in my menu that I did include some substitutions based on the ingredients that I have available in my Misfits box. And so if you notice, for instance, in the moussaka recipe, that the moussaka recipe that I found actually included cauliflower in place of the pasta that's traditionally in a moussaka recipe. I also think that I probably wouldn't include the traditional eggplant in that recipe. I also have included a zucchini pie recipe that in some of the Greek food websites I've noticed that they will include pumpkin instead of zucchini as an ingredient in those pies. And so I thought I would substitute butternut squash, since I have one this week as well as one from the previous week. In addition to the menu planning that I'm going to be including in my videos to help to inspire you to be thinking about ways that you can be using your ingredients, I also have an interest in doing some videos to be introducing certain types of vegetarian products, particularly meat substitutes. I know that when I was a baby vegetarian in the early 1990s, I was often, trying to find meat substitutes, and at that time meat substitutes often were very dry and dusty and not very appealing. Meat substitutes have come a long way since then, and I think we all know about the Beyond and Imagination products, but certainly there are a variety of other products that are available. And also one of the great innovations that's really saved me this last year is the number of products that are available online, and I'd be happy to share that information with you. Also, I have an interest in going to markets where there are products available that are used by communities that often cook vegetarian items. Two of my favorites are H Mart, which is a Korean sort of, also other sort of Asian superstore that's nearby, as well as Patel Brothers, which is a Southeast Asian market. So I'd be happy to do some sort of site visit video to show you some of the great finds that I can find in markets like that. I also do want to point out and to draw to your attention that I am going to include a referral code down below, so that if you are not someone who currently subscribes to an Imperfect Foods box or Misfits or one of the other sort of companies, this referral code will give you a discount on your first box, and will be something that would allow you to determine whether you think that these boxes would be something that would be good for you. So I'm looking forward to hearing from you, and so that I can get started on what would be our first cooking demonstration video. And as I can see from the weather outside, we're supposed to have some fabulous weather today, that we're supposed to actually get up into the higher 70s today, which I think is the first that we've had this season. So I'm hoping you're having opportunity to enjoy this spring weather as well as the spring menu. And if this is a video that you have benefited from, that you feel inspired by, please do push like or subscribe so that more people can find these videos. So have a terrific day, and I look forward to our next time together. Bye-bye.